NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Breakthrough Thinking, but it's Breakthrough Sports. And we're live at, of course, Kona Grill at 5310 East High Street in Phoenix. Come on down, and we're having a lot of fun here. It's such a great place. We got sports going on. I see hockey. I see football. But guess what? We have a special honor to have one of the funniest guys going to be at the House of Comedy tonight, right?
Yes.
And Sunday, too. We got Ruben Paul. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I'm really excited to be here in Phoenix. A little depressed that my Raiders got knocked out of the playoffs, but I'm going to enjoy these games anyway.
Did you meet Ed, who's a former NFL player?
I just met Ed, and I looked at his beautiful ring over there.
That's what I love about it. Look at that. Super Bowl.
It's modern and up to date.
Yeah. Every year they update it. No, not really.
Who'd you win that with?
The Falcons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We lost to Denver, but I call it my little consolation prize. They gave us a little something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's not actually a Super Bowl ring.
We were in the Super Bowl.
I remember that's the year my man got caught in.
Yeah, exactly.
Your man got caught.
Oh, yeah. I remember that story.
Everybody remembers that.
Yeah. Oh, man. You guys had a good team that year, man. But even though Minnesota should have actually beat you guys that year, but you guys did a good job.
We fought them. Well, that was a dog fight.
That was a great game, man.
Nobody expected us to even be in there.
Yeah. Congratulations,
You got a good
man.
memory, too. Yeah, that was.
I'm a sports fanatic,
okay.
man. Comedy and sports
But
is
you
my
look
thing.
too young to remember all that.
I'm an encyclopedia, man. Ever since I was a kid, I would always just watch highlights, NFL films. Mm-hmm. I was that kid. I was always Googling, what do you know? You weren't even born when that happened. I'm like, I looked it up. I read about it.
California born and raised?
California born and raised.
Carson, California.
Yes,
I know exactly where. I grew up in L.A., so I know where that is. And what I was reading about you, and it was really cool. Carson is known as one of the diverse cities in L.A.
Yeah.
And it says you grew up in an all-black neighborhood, went to an all-Mexican high school, went to an all-white church, and shopped at a lot of Asian stores.
Yes, that sounds about right.
That is so cool, right?
Well, I think it really helped shape me as a person and shape my comedy. When you interact with a lot of different races and cultures, you learn to have a respect for other people. And I'm glad that I've had those experiences, and I just didn't grow up in a what do they call it, in a shell, where you're just only around one group of people. And that's one thing that sports does for you too.
Yeah.
When you join a team, you have people from all different walks of life that come into a locker room for one common goal.
That's right.
And that's one thing that I've always loved about sports in general, and just being around all different types of people.
How did you get into comedy? How was your direction to get into comedy?
Well, I remember as a kid I saw Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Yeah.
And that changed my life. Where as a kid I probably didn't understand all of it, but I remember laughing so hard I was in tears. And my parents are immigrants from Haiti, so they didn't really understand comedy and what it was. But that's when the seed was planted. And in school, I was always known as the class clown or the funny guy. And then when I went to college, my theater teacher asked me, hey, have you ever thought of doing comedy? I was like, what, I'm a bad actor? She's like, no, you're a really good actor, actually. And she says, but you have this comedic timing that's really natural. And I was like, well, actually, I have thought about it. Then, long story short, I had a buddy who knew this lady who ran a comedy night in the hood at Birdland West. And D.L. Hughley, who's one of the kings of comedy, was the host. Oh, yeah. And I went in, and I did 5 minutes, and it went well. He kind of took me under his wing, and then the rest is history.
Wow. And you've been Late Show with Craig Ferguson, Lopez Tonight, Russell Peters, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. That's got to be exciting.
Yeah, it's been really exciting, especially working with Russell Peters the last couple of years. For those who don't know him, he's literally probably the biggest comedian in the world. He tours internationally, sells out arenas from Australia to South Africa to the Middle East. I mean, and he saw me at the Laugh Factory, and he was like, hey, man, I think you're really funny. We started working together. Then he took me on tour. And what's great about him, every country we've gone to, a lot of them have brought me back to do my own headlining shows there.
That
He's been very helpful and instrumental in doing
Jamie
that.
Foxx, George
Jamie
Lopez, Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to have great mentors. I just worked with George Lopez last week in Pleasanton, California, not too far from Oakland. So he was one of the mentors. But when I was doing comedy only 6 months, I went on tour with Jamie Foxx. I literally went from open mics to 2,000 seat theaters.
Wow.
And all the other comedians like, how in the hell did you pull that off? It was just a timing thing, and I learned a lot, both good and bad. That's helped me through my career navigate through it.
Do you have a favorite comedy club that you performed at?
Besides the House of Comedy?
There you go.
No, but I love working for Rick Bronson.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. Has a great club, a class act. I think a club that's special to me is the San Francisco Punchline.
Oh, okay.
Just because a lot of legends have worked there, and that's the first club to ever headline me. Was the San Francisco Punchline, so it's kind of a home thing. But the Laugh Factory in L.A. is my home base.
Yeah,
and it's one of the best clubs in the country, also.
So, who's your favorite comedian, or who influenced you maybe long ago?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you talk about comedy, for me, like the Mount Rushmore is Richard Pryor.
Oh yeah, funny.
George Carlin are 1 and 2. All the rest of them are debatable, but in modern times,
Gary Shandling, maybe.
Who was a friend, rest in peace.
Oh, that was sad. And I saw him in Manhattan Beach one day.
Yeah, I work at the Comedy and Magic Club. Is that what you're talking about? In Hermosa Beach, that's where it is.
First time I saw, this guy was, I thought, so underrated. The funniest guy. Then I saw him a second. It was Joan Rivers, I think, but he was. Not the headliner, but the first guy.
Yeah, the opener.
And I go, this guy is better than Jones. But, but he was hysterical, right?
He was great. He was awesome, man. He was awesome. So to be around people like that, it's all. But I think my modern day influence when I first started, I loved Mark Curry. Some of you guys know from hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Mr.
Cooper. He was one of the funniest guys. A cool story about him. How he came into prominence was he was opening up for Damon Wayans on the road as his opening act.
Okay.
Damon was about to shoot his first, maybe his second or third HBO special. He was already big by the time. No one knew who Mark Curry was. The people from HBO saw Mark Curry and was like, that guy needs a special.
Oh, wow.
And so, being from Southern California, me working a lot in the Bay Area, he was an influence. Martin Lawrence was another guy when I first started who was like, an influence, but Richard Pryor and George Carlin are the two most that I idolize and admire, just for their wit, their social commentary, and just always being relevant, and told their stories.
Is that sort of your style?
Yeah,
would you say? Okay.
I talk about my life a lot. I do a little observational stuff, but basically it's my experiences in day-to-day life, whether I'm talking about my experiences in traveling throughout China and doing comedy, or going to South Africa or Singapore or any of the places that I've been to tell those stories. And I think for the audience, it's kind of cool to see, man, this black dude been to all these places. Like, what is that like? Did they understand you? Do they speak English? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sort of wondering, in China, do they speak
English? Well,
in
China, to answer your question, they in a lot of foreign countries, they have huge expat communities. And an expat is when somebody leaves their home country to go somewhere else and work.
Oh, yeah.
So
gotcha.
There's thousands of Americans that live in China, so they look for entertainment too.
Hey, that's perfect.
When an American comes there, they just they're looking for a piece of home. So I built an audience that way over there, and some local Chinese come, some because of the internet and everything, they already speak English, and then some people come to the shows to actually learn English during my show.
Oh, wow.
Like sometimes you'll say a joke, and then you'll see somebody whispering.
Telling them.
You're like, what the hell is going on here? Like, hey, can you play 10? They're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm teaching her English. And you're like, oh, okay. So you make jokes about it. And
that's funny.
It's kind of cool because it brings everybody together once again.
Have you ever had to deal with a heckler, and how do you deal with them, if so?
I mean, dealing with hecklers is a part of comedy.
Yeah.
A lot of hecklers think comedians like it. We actually hate it. I mean, it's fun when we're destroying you.
Yeah.
But, we have something prepared. We have something we want to say, so it kind of disrupts the show. But like we say, don't start none, won't be none.
There you go.
You're right.
If they start it, I'm going to finish it. And a lot of times they don't like it.
Yeah.
You're talking about expats in China. I think North Korea would be out of the question.
Well, I performed in Korea, but that
Not
was...
North Korea, though.
Not North Korea.
Yeah.
But I took a tour on the DMZ.
You did?
Yeah, but when I did Korea, that was a military tour. I went to perform for the U.S. military.
Oh, cool.
Not
Yeah.
like when I go to China and just perform for the people who are living there.
Yeah.
But we went and performed at the DMZ for the soldiers there, and it was one of the most emotional shows we'd ever done. And it was at a time where North Korea had just threatened South Korea.
Oh, and did you on the what I understand on the DMZ, they have from North, they're always have this big speaker and saying stuff.
Propaganda 24/7.
Yeah.
And when you go, you can see these buildings. It's literally like Disneyland, but they look beautiful, but nobody lives in them.
Wow.
But it's for the South Koreans to go, hey, life is good over there. But it's not
until you get over there.
Yeah, but it's like literally it's all like like a soundstage on a movie lot.
Really?
Yeah, like those homes aren't even inhabited. They're just like they look
to tease them,
to make them think like, hey, come over here, life is good over here.
That is crazy. So you've been all over the world.
I've been blessed. Comedy has taken me all over the world, man.
Wow. What's your favorite place so far?
The most beautiful place that I've been to, other than Vancouver, which I think is beautiful, is South Africa. I love Cape Town. Cape Town, South Africa is beautiful.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That's a great place.
So
New Zealand, too. New Zealand
I hear that's really beautiful.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. So House of Comedy, you started yesterday, I think.
We started on Wednesday, man.
Wednesday.
And, I mean, I'm honored. Like, the crowds have been coming out, and it's been a great turnout, and the response has been great. So it's
How
a
long
great
are you
club,
in town
man.
this time?
I'm here until Monday. I leave Monday, so I have 2 shows tonight, and I have 1 on Sunday, and it's a great show, man.
Now, will you be back here soon again?
Yeah, I'll probably be here. I usually come like a year apart, depending on what Rick wants, and then my schedule. But after I leave here, I go to Vegas. But
you do?
Here. Yeah, I go to Vegas.
Where are you going to be performing there?
I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Vegas all next week.
Oh, yeah. Is that at the MGM?
Tropicana.
Tropicana?
Yeah, Brad Garrett's room is at the MGM.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Do you have
cool.
your schedule up on your website?
Yes, my schedule is up
yeah.
on my website, so people can check it out. But, pound for pound, I really feel like this club here is one of the best clubs in the country, man.
Yeah. It's a great venue.
Great food.
It's beautiful inside, too.
Great food, beautiful ambiance, you know what I mean? The sound system, everything is great. Comedians love working for Rick because he knows how to, set the environment. Some comedy clubs you go to is like, who thought of this place? You know what I mean? It could have been in somebody's garage.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So what time are your shows tonight?
Shows tonight are 7:30 and 9:45, and then tomorrow night is 7 o'clock.
And this is at the House Factory, of course.
House of Comedy.
I mean House of Comedy. Why did I say House?
You're getting Laugh Factory, House of Comedy.
Yeah. House of Comedy.
Now, I got a question. Do you have like a pregame ritual or anything you go through?
It's interesting you say that. Well, I play ball, so I just like to relax and listen to music.
Okay.
Kind of just chill out, formulate my thoughts. But then I like to be spontaneous, too, because it's a live show. And I like to react to what's ever happening, because that's what's great about coming to see somebody. You expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be formulaic and scripted all out. You know what I mean? You want to come if somebody yells out something or somebody laughs in a certain way, somebody drops a glass, you see somebody, chick walks in who, something. You know what I mean? You react to what's happening.
That is very. And
Dave couldn't be a comedian because he'd be stopping too much looking at the thing.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. That is so cool. How much does the audience impact you, or does audience impact you?
It impacts me a lot because I look at it as a partnership. I have my story. I have to say what they have to say, and I say what I have to say, but I want them to be involved, whether they agree or disagree, not necessarily vocally, but, you can get a sense of somebody like, that joke might have hit a little too close to home. And then somebody else might go, yeah, that's the truth, brother, preach, or whatever, whatever you might get. Or, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Now, like in sports where, you have a certain quarter that you didn't feel you performed, well enough, do you make adjustments as you go if the audience isn't?
Of course you make adjustments, but I think at the end of the day, all I can do is be me.
Yeah.
And you're not going to please everybody, but I think the good thing about my comedy is it's easily relatable. No matter what race you are, no matter where you came from, no matter what your economic background is, I think you can find some commonality in my set, in my material, because my story is just the human story.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it plays well all over the world, even though people might not know about American culture. They know about human beings. Everybody has a mom and a dad, a brother, a sister, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, no matter if you're in China, or Africa or Australia,
So I suspect you have goals still. How high can you go, do you think?
I think sky's the limit. I think it's us who limit ourselves. I think, not to be corny, but if you dream it, you can achieve it.
I agree. I think that's a great attitude.
Yeah, and I've been doing this for a while, so some people might think, man, you haven't made it yet. But in comedy, 15 years is an overnight success. 20 years is overnight success.
Yeah.
So I think you just do what you love, do it the best way that you can, and then everything will come from that. I think if you work hard and do the right things, you ultimately get what you deserve.
So what would be considered, in your definition, success as a comedian? Would it be doing like funny movies, or would it be?
Kevin Hart, who's a friend. I mean, you see,
he's done really well.
He's obviously a huge success.
Yeah.
Like I said, George Lopez is a success, and a lot of guys. But you can't base success totally based on whether you're in movies or whether you're on TV shows. Because to be perfectly honest with you, some of the best comedians aren't on TV every week or aren't in movies every month. You know what I mean? So it's all relative. But for me, I do want to do more films and do more TV, and I have some opportunities that are coming up that I'm excited about. Wow. But, whether that happened or didn't happen, I wouldn't base my success on that. I just have more stories I want to share in those genres.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. Yeah, Kevin sort of, I remember him in, he had a very small part in the 40-year-old virgin, I think.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of presence to him.
Yeah. He's very charismatic. He's a funny guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see one of your own break out. Like, some people are jealous and are haters, but, Kevin used to be my Madden buddy. We used to play John Madden all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, cuss each other out. But
And who's his team?
Philly, of course.
Come on.
Yeah, so I used to destroy him. But he has an older brother that's really good. But I'm getting off track here. But it's kind of cool to see somebody that reach the levels that he's reached. I mean, he sold out a football stadium. Now, some comedians might sit back and hate on him, like, man, he ain't that funny. How's it, or whatever it is. But you should celebrate that, because if he can do it, then somebody else can do it.
Well, you have a similar presence. I'm
very charismatic.
Well, I think it's good confidence that you have. You're articulate. You're smooth. It seems like you can roll with the punch. And
absolutely.
And Kevin Hart always seems like he's so animated. Yeah. I mean, and that's, I think, one of the attractions about him.
And I would say this: at the end of the day, I think what a lot of people forget, like, even if you have a message or something you want to say, you want people to come out and have a good time.
Yeah.
So when people pay their money to come see me, I want them to leave like, man, that was hilarious. I had a good time. And hopefully they might have learned something or saw a different perspective.
Yeah.
But entertainment and them having a good time is the most important thing.
That is really so. That's a great, and you have such a great attitude. I mean,
thank you.
Regardless, I mean, to me, you're already a success.
Appreciate that.
I think it's all about.
I wish my bank account would agree with you. But
yeah.
I'm doing okay though.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you get to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I could buy a round in here if like 20 people left.
Okay, let's make everyone out. No. So, does your routine change from night to night, or how does that work?
Yeah. If you come see me perform, you'll never see the same exact show twice. There might be variations of it.
Yeah.
Like, there might be bits and pieces that you've heard, but like I said, it's a live show. Like last night when I went on stage, some girl went, ew. So I just did 10 minutes on her saying, ew.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Like, who says that?
Who does say that these days?
I just came up literally go, hey, I'm from L.A. She went, ew. I go, ew?
What?
Like, come on, lady. You can't start off by saying, ew. That's the worst thing ever for a woman. A guy never wants to hear a woman say, ew.
Yeah, especially in certain situations.
Yeah, like, hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Ew. Like, no, that's not what you want to hear.
Or the goodnight kiss.
Ew. Yeah, right. Exactly. Are you ready for this, baby? Ew. Like, that's not what you want to hear.
So you improvise a lot, right?
I improvise a lot. Especially like one time you go to this bar. I have friends. I have a lot of female friends, and they go, hey, that one guy's looking at you. They go, where? Oh, ew. So it's like, that's not what you want to hear as a man. So she said that as soon as I said I was from L.A., so I just went on a tangent for like 10 minutes.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And do Do you have to get back on track, or you can change it up whatever you want to do?
It's whatever is in my heart, whatever I feel like doing. I look
That's
at the
a talent.
audience.
That's an amazing talent, right?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
As an athlete, everybody always wants to test you out.
Yes.
As a comedian, do you have a lot of your friends? Hey, Ruben, I got a good one for you.
Oh, my God.
Everybody wants to throw it at you, don't they?
They always do. And usually I don't mind if they're my friends because it's well thought out. But I had to stop telling people on airplanes that I'm a comedian, especially if the flight is more than an hour.
I bet.
So you'll be there like, so what do you do?
Yeah.
And I used to say when I first started, I'm a comedian. Oh, really? I got a joke.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my God.
So for the next 2 hours, they're giving you their
like
giving
literally,
you their
I'll be
stand-up.
asleep and go,
Can I be one too?
I'm sorry. When you wake up, I have a joke for you. Like, oh my God!
Wake up!
I
Here's the
know.
joke.
That's funny.
Oh my, yeah. So now when people ask me what I do, I just say I'm a businessman, or
That's good.
or just make something up.
I think that makes sense because they will impose on you, right? And they'll say, where have you been, and what type of stuff do you do? And
Yeah.
Now
and then there's the times like, I got a joke for you. Like, really? So this black guy, I'm like, stop. I don't need to hear that joke.
Oh, man.
This might end in a tragedy.
That is too funny.
Yeah.
So you're do you book up pretty? How far booked up are you right now? do you think?
I'm preparing to shoot a special in May or June.
Oh, wow.
We're shooting that. So I stay pretty busy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I work the road a lot, and I work a lot at home in L.A. because I'm working on a few writing projects also. So I kind of mix up my time between actually going out and being on the road and, being at home. So now that I'm working on this special, I'm going to be doing more dates. Like I said, I'm in Vegas next week. Then I'm in Minnesota.
Oh,
then
wow.
I'm in Edmonton. Then I think I'm in Indianapolis. So I'm
A lot of travel.
a lot of traveling. Yeah.
Do you enjoy the travel?
I enjoy the shows. I enjoy performing. But you understand, playing ball. It's like going to the airport, going through security, getting into the car, getting into the hotel, unpacking. It's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
But once you get on stage, that's where I feel truly free and grateful that people would pay money to come see me. So that's why I would say, if you pay money to come see me, you're going to get my full effort. I'm not going to I don't know if I can say. Well, I'm not going to I'm not going to.
We all knew. We all knew what you.
Halfway do anything.
Exactly. I like the way word.
I'm not going to halfway do anything, and that's what I think some people forget after a while.
Yeah.
Especially some of the famous guys. It's like, man, people are paying a lot of money to see you, man. You give them a show.
There's no doubt. Let me add, I think both you and Ed have something in common. You hear athletics, they're in the zone, and when that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah.
I suspect it's the same. When you're up there on the stage, you're in the zone, right?
Yeah, you can be in the zone. I mean, there's nights you might feel a little off, like we talked before, but then there's some nights, man, where
timing is on.
it's nothing can go wrong, man.
Just
you
magical,
feel like,
right?
Yeah, you feel like, when Michael Jordan, when he played against, what was that, Portland in the championship, and he hit those threes, and he just shrugged his shoulders.
Like no big deal.
Sometimes comedy-wise, you feel like that, and then, other guys are like, man, you were on fire tonight. It's like, dude, it was nothing. Every ad-lib destroys every new thought. And I'm the type of person, I like to trust myself. So if a thought comes to my head for the first time, I'll just go with it.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a sense of energy and relaxation at the same time.
Want to hear a great story? So I was playing Barclays Arena with Russell Peters.
Yeah.
He sold out Barclays Arena, and I was his opening act.
Oh.
And right before I went on, this joke popped into my head. Like, just a new joke popped into my head. And I was like, you know what? I'm a open with this joke. I just said it to myself. In the level of nervous energy and anxiousness that goes through your body is like, it's awesome. And I came out and I opened with that joke, and the audience exploded,
right?
man. And then you're off and running. And in your mind, confidence-wise, going, man, I just came up with that, and they're dying. Wait till they hear the stuff that I've worked on and prepared. So it just elevates your confidence, man.
Credit to you. Great confidence to be able to do that.
You got to take chances, man.
That's incredible. Wow. We're at going up against a hard break right now. However, tonight.
Yes.
And tomorrow. Get out to the House of Comedy on High Street.
Yeah, 2 shows a night, 7:30 and 9:45, and then tomorrow 7 o'clock. So you have 3 chances left to see me.
Wow, you won't regret it. That's Ruben Paul, very funny guy, and
thank you.
A great human being too.
Thank
by
you,
the
man.
way.
I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
Great to meet you guys too, man. Come out to the show if you can.
That would be sort of cool. Yeah, we should do that, and we'll stay in touch with you. Maybe
Please
you have
do.
a card or something we can get, and really appreciate you stopping by here at the Kona Grill. And it's just, about 100 yards to the House of Comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
So get out there tonight, House of Comedy.
I say we go catch him in Vegas next time he's there, too.
Oh, yeah.
We keep talking about Vegas. That's another reason to go.
Love to go to Vegas.
Support live comedy, everybody.
Yeah, that is very cool. Again, Ruben Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And, of course, we are here at Kona Grill on High Street, 5310 East High Street. And, again, comedy, House of Comedy tonight, Ruben Paul, and tomorrow. And again, this is Breakthrough Sports live at Kona Grill, and we will be right back